The Habs top line keeps rolling as Nick Suzuki gets 2 points, Kirby Dach scores. We have Joel Edmondson finally making his much anticipated return to the lineup. The Habs may have come up short against the Jets tonight, but we have a lot of positive things to break down in this edition of Habs Digest. Hello, bonjour, ahoy, and welcome to November 3rd's game reaction edition of Habs Digest. I'm your host, Josh Gosse. Unfortunately, Jesse couldn't be here to record this game reaction version of Habs Digest with me today, but comment saying how much you miss him in the comments. Before we get into the video, though, I want to talk about you guys. You've been amazing with subscribers. We're over 1,400 subscribers now, but over 85% of you are still not subscribed. So if you enjoy this daily Habs content or recap for every single game in the season, and you don't want to miss any news for your Habs, we got your back here at Habs Digest. All right, well, time to get into this game, and boy, it was a fun one. I mean, from the moment the puck dropped, you could tell the pace in this game was absurd. Both teams love to play fast. We know Martin St. Louis has said from the get-go that he wants his team to be high energy, to play fast, to be rushing out of the zone, and it sure seems like Rick Bowness and his Jets decided to play up to our pace tonight. I mean, we know a lot of the guys on the Jets are very skilled, notably Kyle Connor. He felt like he was everywhere tonight, and he eventually did score that nice snipe in the overtime winner for Winnipeg, but man, this game was exciting to watch. There was a stretch in the first period where there was about, I think, 6 minutes, maybe 7 minutes straight of no whistles, just hockey. Icings got waved off. We had, no offsides, no penalties. They were letting the boys play tonight. It was a physical game. Both teams were really getting into each other, and the refs were letting a lot of things go. I thought it was a fairly well-refed game, and it was just fun to watch overall because both teams got to show their strengths in a head-to-head matchup. But in the end, Montreal came up a bit short. But that's not to say that there were no positives coming out of this game. I got to get into this top line of Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield, and Kirby Dach. If you watch some of the news videos, if you watched our last game reaction, we speak a lot about how much we love Dach with Nick Suzuki and Cole Caulfield, and Martin St. Louis has really said, he wants that third guy on a line with Suzuki and Caulfield to be able to, fight his board battles, be there in the scrappy areas, but also know how to get them the puck while just playing his role. Of course, Marty St. Louis himself was an Art Ross winner in the past. He played with amazing centers in Tampa Bay like Vincent Lecavalier and Brad Richards, so he knows that that third guy on the line is arguably just as important as the other two, maybe more skilled guys. And we saw that really exemplified tonight. That first Habs goal, I mean, that was just, it was pure beauty, right? That little tip pass from Caulfield, as it comes to him, he just tips it between his legs from Caulfield to Suzuki as Suzuki rushes into the zone. I believe it was DeMello that he blew by, maybe Brendan Dillon, one of them, and they just didn't expect him to be coming at such speed. I know it was DeMello because I remember Suzuki comes in, he gets the puck just behind the blue line on the left side of the ice. He does a Josh Anderson power horse move and holds the puck out and cuts hard across the net, fires it short side as Brendan Dillon, for some reason, decides to just hammer Suzuki into Hellebuyck after he had already scored. I was a little confused by that. I mean, I'm not really sure what Dillon was doing. Luckily, Hellebuyck was okay. But yeah, it was a beauty goal from Suzuki. Just the chemistry between Suzuki and Caulfield is outstanding. It's just so fun every time they're on the ice because it literally does just feel like they know exactly what each other is going to do. But not just them tonight. The Habs' second goal of the game to put them up 2-1. It was, again, that same line. But this time it was, Suzuki coming in on a break off a pass from Caulfield. And he just fires a nice shot on Hellebuyck, a nice far side shot, hits him in the pad, and Dach is right there to clean up the rebound. He knew where he needed to be, right? Exactly what we were talking about. Exactly what Coach St. Louis wants the guys to do. If you're that third guy on the line with Caulfield and Suzuki, you got to be ready for whenever the puck comes to you. You be ready to put that in the back of the net, and he was exactly ready for that. It really looked like Cole Perfetti just lost him. If you watch the replay of the goal, Suzuki was covered. It was a miracle he managed to get that shot on net. Hellebuyck kicked it to the side, and Perfetti is just standing there staring at the ice, not knowing what to do as Dach slips backdoor for the beautiful rebound goal. Just perfect execution from that line tonight. Again, they were definitely the best line for Montreal tonight. But overall, I think Montreal had a solid game, especially from their forwards. The fourth line tonight, I want to talk about them quick. Of course, the line with Rem Pitlick on the left wing, Slavkovsky, Evans, and Pitlick, they kind of just, it's Evans centered by the two wingers in Slavkovsky and Pitlick. Again, no Dadonov. He's been placed on IR retroactive to October 31st, so he's only eligible to even come off IR on November 7th, so we won't see him probably for the next game. And Hoffman was scratched again tonight. We kept Jonathan Drouin in the lineup, and we kept Rem Pitlick in the lineup. Pitlick has been a solid penalty killer for us, which is ironic because he took two rather undisciplined hooking calls tonight. Luckily, neither really cost us, thankfully, but they were just really undisciplined. Pitlick, I loved him last season. I loved him in Minnesota. I really like his game in general, but so far this year, he hasn't been impressive. I haven't really he's been hustling. He's definitely been hustling, but he seems a little rusty, if that even makes sense. I'm not sure what it is with him, but other than him, the fourth line was good. Evans really spurred some great opportunities. There was a rush, I believe, in the third period, shorthanded, where Evans just breaks in with a burst of speed. It was a 2-on-1. It was a great defensive play to knock the puck away. They ended up getting nothing out of it. But Evans really showed his speed tonight. He won some nice clutch faceoffs. He was in the dirty areas behind the net. I thought he played well. I thought Slavkovsky, while he wasn't really noticeable tonight, he was using his big body to control the puck in the offensive zone, and that's exactly what you want out of one of your wingers on the fourth line. So I thought they were good. The Gallagher, Dvorak, Anderson line was solid again. Man, okay, we got to get into Brendan Gallagher, because that is a big storyline from this game. It's 2 games in a row now. Gallagher has had multiple, I feel like extremely high likelihood scoring chances, where he just has an open net in front of him, but he can't pot it. And I feel like he's just snake bit right now. And it felt like that last season too. He's getting these opportunities, the amount of times he just had a little tip in or just a little one-timer in the crease to just pot it into a wide open net. It was 2 or 3 times just tonight, and it was a couple times against Minnesota last game too. He still put some shots on net, but man, I just feel like you can see he's upset, right? Caulfield gave him a beautiful pass and he couldn't convert, and Caulfield went to the bench and spoke to Galley. There was one where Dvorak sent it right out in front. Oh man, it was a little frustrating, but you can't be upset at Galley. He's in the right spots. He knows what he needs to do. I think he's just getting a little bit unlucky right now, and it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. He's fanning on shots he's never fanned on in his life, just like that Caulfield pass. But I thought he played a good game tonight. He was really, really working hard, proving he still definitely deserves to be on the ice. I think the goals will come eventually. He just needs to keep working. But with all those other forwards talked about, I'm going to get into the more interesting line we saw tonight. And I wanted to talk about the Drouin, Monahan, and Armia line. And I thought they were really, really exciting tonight. They didn't really produce a ton, but once again, it's showing me how valuable Yoel Armia is, to have on the ice. I thought every time I've seen him the last 2 games, I've been saying his ability to control the puck, to just break in through the neutral zone, to get into the offensive zone and set things up is incredible. And I think it's really, really synergizes well with a player like Monahan, who may not be the best at getting into the offensive zone, but is very good at controlling the puck once there and creating opportunities for his teammates. And Jonathan Drouin is a very good passer, very high IQ player with a bunch of skill who just hasn't quite been able to put it together. I think the line was really solid tonight. There were a lot of chances started by Armia and Monahan and Drouin throughout the whole game, so I really wanted to highlight that for you guys. If you didn't get a chance to watch the game, they're not going to show up in the stat sheet. You can see actually on screen right now, Yoel Armia, 1 shot and nothing else with 17 minutes, but 17 minutes on the ice. And Montreal was in the penalty kill for a bit, and of course he plays on the PK, but man, that line was very, very good tonight. You may not see it in the box score, but I wanted to let you know about that just in case you couldn't catch the whole game. Another big storyline tonight, Joel Edmondson is back, and he looked maybe a little rusty, but he was very solid. He didn't make very many mistakes tonight. He looked a little more slow-footed than we're used to, but he is a big guy coming off of an injury. You want him to take his time, but it felt like he was out there for the whole first period. I think he had finished the game with only 4 or 5 blocks, but I'm pretty sure all of them came in the first period. He was dropping down to the ice. He blocked a shot with his hand. He blocked a shot with his foot, and a couple with his body. He was everywhere defensively in the first period, and I feel like he was a little exhausted as the game went on. But he came in for Chris Weidman tonight. We kept the pairing of Goulet and Savard. We put Edmondson with Arbor Xhekaj, which is interesting, the double left-handed defenseman combo, and we put out Kovacevic with Jordan Harris, which is a pairing that I'm okay with. I think they've been playing well together. But Xhekaj and Edmondson, like, can you think of a more physically imposing defensive tandem? Yeah, there might be some, like Hedman and whoever he's playing with that night, but still, these guys are big. These guys are both huge. They're both physical monsters, and they're scary to go up against. They're going to tip a lot of passes. They're long, and they're physical. They're going to beat you when you're in the boards, right? So I thought that was cool. I thought getting to see Xhekaj with Edmondson, Xhekaj's first season, Edmondson's back. Hey, guess what? We're going to play you together. I mean, I know they couldn't split up Goulet and Savard. Savard had a great game today again, by the way. These little deeks he does in the offensive zone are just incredible, and he had multiple amazing defensive plays in the defensive zone to stop chances. But with all that said, I'm getting round to one of the main points of the game here tonight, and that is Samuel Montembeault. Samuel Montembeault played phenomenally tonight. He played incredible. Sure, he allowed 3 goals, but Winnipeg had a lot of high danger scoring chances, especially on that first power play in the first period. Like, they were getting wherever they wanted on Montreal's penalty kill. They were getting right in close to the net almost every single time. Wheeler tried to stuff play. There's lots of cross-crease passes. Kyle Connor had a few chances, but Monty was getting a piece of everything. The goals he allowed are really not his fault. Like the first one, Pierre-Luc Dubois, literally the Montreal penalty kill just kind of spaced out, let Dubois get right into the hash marks and ripped not an easy shot, but a snipe, a perfect snipe right over Monty's shoulder. Not much he can do about it when the defense doesn't really close in on him. And the overtime goal, Kyle Connor, again, it was Montreal's guys. I think it was Harris and Suzuki got a little bit crossed. It allowed Connor to get a little too close. And funny thing, from pretty much the exact same spot Dubois scored from, right to Montembeault's right at the hash mark, a left-handed shot, fires it glove side over his shoulder. Maybe that's a weakness of Monty, but then again, it's Pierre-Luc Dubois and Kyle Connor firing these 90-mile-an-hour snapshots, so it's hard to stop. And the second goal wasn't his fault either. I thought that could have very well been goaltender interference on Blake Wheeler. Wheeler did get hit a bit by Kovacevic, and it knocked Montembeault out of the net originally, but as Wheeler was getting up, it looked like he leaned on Montembeault, kind of shoved him a little bit away, just enough to get his stick on the puck and poke it into the net. It was ultimately not called goalie interference, and as Arpon Basu tweeted during the game, I feel like when there are these goaltender interference calls, it's kind of like, do you know? No. Do you know? No. And they just, okay, fine, well, we don't really know, so sure, we gotta just call it a goal, because that's what it was on the ice. So that was questionable. I think it could have gone either way, and I agree with the commentators that it was a good challenge by Martin St. Louis. Luckily, that penalty from getting it wrong didn't hurt us, because Sam Gagner got a very quick slashing call after, which was interesting. He got a slash for poking at Montembeault after the whistle, which you don't usually see. But yeah, I mean, Montembeault was amazing tonight again. He has been really a surprise this season. And I say surprise, but we know Montembeault has worked his butt off for this team. He has just been a very solid backup for us. He'll eat minutes. He'll save Jake Allen's body. But, I mean, he has been a legit goaltender this year. He's been good. Like, not just backup level. He has been good. And he showed that again tonight. Especially, that cross-crease save he had on Kyle Connor near the end of overtime near the end of overtime, or maybe it was the third period. I can't even remember. It all blends together to me, but it's just an amazing save right with I think it was the stick on the one-timer, and he is just absolutely great. But yeah, I think that was actually a Scheifele one-timer. I just looked at my notes there because I was like, it wasn't Kyle Connor, was it? No, it was Mark Scheifele. My apologies. Not going to edit that out. This is going in one take. I don't edit it. Steve Dangle, just like his last video or 2 videos ago, the one taker. So, but yeah, quick hit 2 on Montreal's power play. Again, going with the 5 forwards on the first power play. It almost worked tonight, but Arbor Xhekaj is on the second power play. Arbor Xhekaj was point manning the second power play tonight. Of course, Martin said, screw it, we're going to switch it up. We had a couple good chances. We couldn't really get that second power play going, but with Chris Weidman out, instead of going with Caden Goulet or Jordan Harris, St. Louis just says, all right, we're going to toss Xhekaj out there and see what happens. And He didn't do bad. The second power play didn't really get going, so he couldn't see his full potential. I believe Montreal finished technically 0 for 2 on the power play, but the first power play was after the failed challenge, so we got like 18 seconds after Sam Gagner's penalty, after Montreal's penalty expired. Gagner was in the box for like 18 extra seconds, so it wasn't really much. But yeah, I mean, I don't think there's too much more. I wanted to highlight that Kovacevic definitely didn't have his best game tonight. He had a lot of unforced turnovers, a couple that nearly led to Winnipeg goals. And of course, he was the one on the Blake Wheeler goal where the puck was sitting on the line and Kovacevic could have swatted it away, but Wheeler was just a split second earlier than him, getting the puck out of the crease. But yeah, I mean, to summarize the game, the top line impressed again. Suzuki, Caulfield, and Kirby Dach had a great game. Montreal's defense, Joel Edmondson is back, baby. We had some great performances from all the forwards, and Samuel Montembeault was a magician in net tonight. Some miraculous saves, and the defense was really, they were really laying their body on the line for him tonight, even though we got outshot heavily. I thought he played great. I thought, again, all you can ask of is from your backup goalie is to keep your team in it till the end. And he really did that tonight. And it's just good to know, especially confidence for the Montreal forwards and defensemen, but also Jake Allen, knowing that they have such a skilled backup coming in and really giving Montreal the chance to win any given night. But that'll do it for this game reaction edition of Habs Digest for the Habs versus Jets. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to the channel. We got daily Montreal Canadiens content and a reaction for every single game. I'm your host, Josh Gosse, and I'll see you in the next video.